Welcome back. You're watching the morning news show right here on CNN News 18. We are bringing you these images that are coming in as we speak of the last rites that are being performed, as you can see on your screens right now, of 5 army personnel who were killed in action. Now, these last rites will be performed today. We're focusing on this as a fierce gun battle yesterday in the forest of the Kalakote area of Rajouri continued to take place. Now, my colleague Tejinder is with us to bring us all of the details on these frankly heartbreaking images that are coming in right now. Tejinder, you've brought us the developments around this encounter over the last few days. Let's just focus though first on the last rites that we're seeing being performed in these visuals. Can you tell us more?
Yes, so you see, this is the most heart-wrenching moment when the mortal remains of our brave hearts, the wreath-laying ceremony is held, wherein the senior officers of the army, the civil administration, everyone from the administration, they pay their last respect to the mortal remains of these brave hearts who laid down their life while defending the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation. The Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, R.R. Stoyan, the Northern Army Commander, Lieutenant General Upender Dwivedi, the GOC of the 16 Corps, the Corps Commander, Lieutenant General Sandeep Jain, all would be laying wreath to the mortal remains of these brave hearts who sacrificed there today for our for 1.40 billion people. You see, these are not just names. Captain M.V. Pranjal, he was a young officer who is survived by his wife, Mrs. Aditi. He is a resident of Mangalore in Karnataka. Then there is another young captain, Captain Shubham Gupta, who is survived by his father, Mr. Basant Kumar Gupta. He is a native of Agra in Uttar Pradesh. Then there is Abdul Majid, who is survived by his wife, Sangeera B. He is a resident of Ajod in Punch area of Jammu and Kashmir. The fourth brave heart is Lieutenant Last Nayak Sanjay Bist, who is survived by his mother, Shrimati Manju Devi. He is a resident of Nainital, Uttarakhand. Then there is paratrooper Sachin Lor. He is a resident of, he is survived by his mother, Bhagwati Devi, and he is a resident of Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh. You see, these are not just names. These are sons, they have their families, but they sacrifice their life for the entire nation. See, this encounter, which lasted for more than 48 hours, two dreaded terrorists, one identified as Kari, high-ranking commander of the Lashkar-e-Toiba terror outfit, a Pakistani national who was trained in Pakistan and Afghanistan, an IED expert who was trained in survival tactics in caves, in jungle warfare. He was eliminated along with his close associate. But one important thing to understand about this encounter is that these 5 brave hearts did not give their life in vain. They made it sure that there is no collateral damage during the encounter. They ensured that all the civilians who were taken hostage by these terrorists, especially the Gujars and Bakarwal, women and children who were taken hostage by the terrorists, they were first evacuated. So that was the reason that the army took the initial hit, and 5 of our brave hearts, they attained the supreme sacrifice while fighting these terrorists. But both these terrorists have been gunned down. See, this is not going to be this was not the first, and this is not going to be the last encounter in Punch Rajouri. Though we know that Pakistan's focus right now is to push in and to ensure that there is violence in the Jammu region, especially in Punch, Rajouri, Doda, Kishtwar, Ramban. But it is because of these brave hearts who don't care about their own safety, but for them, the safety of us Indians, for them, the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Mother India is of utmost importance. They give their life for the nation. Today, the entire nation of 1.40 billion people are indebted to the supreme sacrifice made by these bravehearts. Yesterday we
Tejinder,
saw.
Tejinder, could I just ask you, could you tell us which region each of these five bravehearts is from? Can you also tell us who they leave behind in their families if you have those details?
Yes, Toya. You see, Captain M.V. Pranjal, he survived by his wife, Mrs. Aditi, and he's a native of Mangalore in Karnataka. Then Captain Shubham Gupta, he survived by his father, Mr. Basant Kumar Gupta. He's a resident of Agra in Uttar Pradesh. Then Havaldar Abdul Majid, he survived by his wife Sagira B. He is a resident of Ajod in Punj. Lance Nayak Sanjay Bist, he survived by his mother Shrimati Manju Devi. He is a resident of Nainital in Uttarakhand. Paratrooper Sachin Laur, he is a resident of Aligarh and he survived by his mother Bhagwati Devi. So you see, in all these five brave hearts who laid down their life, only two were married. Captain M.V. Pranjal, he was recently married, but we are told, and Havaldar Abdul Majid, he was married and he had two kids. That is what we are being told. Rest all three brave hearts, Captain Shubham Gupta, Lance Naik Sanjay Bist, and Lance Naik Sanjay Bist and paratrooper Sachin Laur. They were yet to get married. We are told that preparations were on to see them get married, but destiny had something else in store for them. They laid down their life for the nation, especially at a time when you see the people are getting ready to celebrate New Year with their family members. But these brave hearts, they were fighting
Tejinder,
the terrorists.
I'll just ask you to stay with us as we continue to show our audiences these visuals. Our colleague Akash is also with us right now. Akash, I just want to tell you, we are seeing visuals right now of rites being performed for these five. As we look at these visuals, can you just tell us more about the operation itself? Because it's one that's stretched out over a few days.
Right, and in fact, this was a typical operation where we have lost five of our jawans, and in fact, Tejinder was pointing out that how two officers were there, and then NCOs were also there. While we talk about this operation, so you see, Toya, this manhunt was on for these two terrorists since October 19th. And as far as the day Wednesday is concerned, so we were told that there was inputs, and following those inputs, this operation was launched. Captain M.V. Pranjal, lost his life because he was ensuring the safety of a woman accompanied by a child, and at that time, a terrorist, opened fire, and he got hit. Yes, his colleagues and in fact, Jawans from Para SF, specifically Major T.S. Mehra.
Akash, I'm so sorry. Just stay with us. We do want to listen into the video and the visuals. We'll just come back to you. Okay, let's go back to my colleague Akash. Akash, I'm sorry we cut you off. Do go ahead.
So I was talking about the operation, Toya, that how Captain M.V. Pranjal, was hit when he was trying to ensure the safety. And during that time, Major D.S. Mehra of Para SF, trying to pull the captain to a safer place, also got hit. And this was the crucial time of the operation. Officers who were overseeing the operation were describing the incident, and in fact describing the operation, that how typical the operation was. But finally, on the second day, we got success, and these two terrorists were neutralized. Now, these two were the hardcore terrorists, and in fact, one of them was sent to revive the terrorism in this region. Also, this region is very important. In fact, we have been discussing south of Peace Panjal for quite some time now. In fact, yesterday, we discussed that how typical the terrain is. It is full of natural hideouts, caves, and the structures, that terrorists take advantage of and they launch attacks. Also, they are surviving for a longer time. But then, Indian Army and in fact, all these units, we have Para SF, we have other units as well. We have CRPF and all the Jammu Kashmir police is also there. Security forces are trying to ensure peace and harmony in the area. And specifically when we talk about Indian Army, so no, we know that how RR units of Indian Army are ensuring that the area, in fact, the hinterland is terrorism free, and this is the reason. This is the reason why operations like such was launched. Also, as far as this area is concerned, so a total 8 operations have been launched, in this particular year, in which we have total 13 terrorists killed from January to November. Total 8 operations, and in fact, in the November itself, we had three terrorists killed in this particular region. But yes, we have suffered injuries on our side. We have lost 5 of our jawans. They have attained Veer Gati. And in fact, we are seeing the visuals where wreath-laying ceremony is going on. In fact, last rites will be performed. We have 2 captain rank officers, who have lost their life. This is unfortunate. But definitely, Indian Army is ensuring the safety of civilians. In fact, we had the initial casualty in this particular operation because the officers were trying to avoid the collateral damage. They were trying to ensure the safety of the woman who was, present there, and this was the reason why he lost his life. These are the visuals where, in fact, the officers, the senior officers are very much there. In fact, we are learning that these Jawans were from different places, and they'll be the mortal remains will be sent to these places. Captain M.B. Pranjal was from Mangalore, as Tejinder pointed out. Captain Shubham Gupta was from Agra. And similarly, Paratrooper Sachin was from Aligarh in Uttar Pradesh. We heard, in fact, the father of Captain M.B. Pranjal. He mentioned that how since childhood he wanted to join army. How in 2014, he went to OTA Gaya, and after that he was posted in RR 2 years back. RR Rashtriya Rifles has a mandate to deal with terrorism and insurgency. And, we have seen a number of operations where we have lost a number of our jawans, but, they are motivated because they know that, the people all over the country, people in the entire country are looking forward to their efforts, are recognizing their efforts, and in fact, are hopeful that one day the whole region will be free of terrorism and peace and harmony will be back.
Okay, Akash, I just want us to stay on this story for a second. A question that some of our audience members have asked when we've been covering the encounters that was taking place over the last few days was that you constantly hear from top officials in Jammu and Kashmir that there has been a great reduction in militancy across the entire region. And they quote numbers. They say the numbers have really fallen, particularly of locals joining. Still, this problem persists, and that's a question that has come up again and again. Can you just give us an idea of where the issue stands right now, an overview?
Yes. So you see, the infiltration activities and in fact the terror activities, the number has gone down and there is no doubt about it. But, when we talk about the countries like Pakistan, they are constantly trying to disrupt the peace and harmony. We know that we share our border with Pakistan. We have international border, and then we have the area, where we have the line of control. And, we know that after ceasefire understanding, in fact, the incidents that used to happen before 2021, before the ceasefire understanding, we know that how we used to suffer casualties. But after that, in fact, not just the casualties on a line of control, but also the infiltration. The attempts have gone down, but it is still there. Infiltration is still happening, and officers within the army say that they are trying their level best. In fact, out of 10, when they are thwarting the 9 attempts. At least one attempt is successful because of the kind of terrain, because of the kind of condition we have in these areas. In Rajouri and Punch, you see, Toya, this group was supported by Jaish-e-Mohammed, in fact, the Shadow outfit, it is very active, and they have changed the strategy. Not just they are launching the operations, in fact, they are launching the attacks on ground, but also they are playing the narrative war. They are playing the information warfare. They record the videos, they try to change the narrative, they promote those videos on WhatsApp and Telegram, and they try to somewhere show that how, Indian army is lying, or the other narrative that countries like Pakistan wants to push. Also, as far as the security forces and efforts are concerned, so we have AIOS system, and ahead of AIOS system, we have a number of villages. Indian army is very much ensuring the safety of those civilians. But the fact is that, avoiding that AIOS, you cannot cross AIOS easily. But when it is about line of control, so in fact, infiltration is still happening. We know the kind of news, we know the kind of inputs that we receive from the areas where, terrorists are infiltrating and, security forces are foiling the attempts. But even then, terrorists are coming from other routes. In fact, I remember how Northern Command Chief, in fact, mentioned a few months back that terrorists are not just coming via LC, but they are also, opting other routes. And, proxy terrorism and, in fact, hybrid terrorism are the terms that are very much, used nowadays because of the fact that, the situation.
Akash, just stay with us. We've run out of time. We do need to head into a short break. We will return to this story. It's time for a short break. This is the Morning News Show. We will see you in just a few minutes.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.